I am here with Aidan and Wes, who are two of the four members, right? It's a four-piece band. I have that correct, don't I? Okay. Four-piece band, Bloodveil. I label you guys as progressive metalcore. Labels suck, but it's just, that's what you could go with, right?
That's really the best you can say. It's better than Sleep Token.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah. We won't get into that. No worries. No problem at all.
The last thing we need is, oh my God, it's Sleep Token.
Hey,
yeah,
that's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair.
you have someone that sings baritone, so therefore you are Sleep Token 2.0 instantly. That's right.
This record. You'll get some more. No, I've already talked about it. You'll see some range.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll get into it. There's plenty of range to begin with on the initial EP, which is Hollow Heart, came out on January 23rd. That was the debut release for you all, right? Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So I'm happy to have you all on. I've been saying this the last couple episodes a lot, but this is kind of what the show is about. Your guys' band, which I think I probably found out from a post Aidan did on Twitter at one point or something. I don't know. But one of my favorite bands I've found over the past, year or two of doing the show. I kind of started this because I don't play shows as much anymore. I'm old. Got too much going on. And I was kind of like falling out of getting into new music, which I hated, right? Like you hate when you just listen to the same five bands, half of which aren't even together anymore and all that good stuff.
Yeah,
and your guys' band blew me out of the water when when your first single came out, which was that late 2023 that came out?
Yeah, it was either late November or early December. Yeah, it was December 3rd? December 1st.
December 1st.
I was going to say, if I was a professional, I would have had that pulled up already, but I'm not. So this is what we have to work with.
We don't remember our own
But I do know it was mine. I know which song it was. When I first heard that, I was like, oh, shit. Like, this is something I'm in. And to be clear, we were just shitting on the Sleep Token thing. Something that caught me for a second was that, like, it wasn't like it sounded like Sleep Token, but I liked obviously the instrumentation is right up my alley with heavy music and the low tune guitars and the banging drums and all that. But the one thing that is a positive thing that I think from it that you can connect to Sleep Token if you want to do that was like the soulful baritone vocals over heavy music, which is a cool thing that I think is getting like more accepted, where like 5-10 years back that they just wanted people singing like the highest note possible all the time in heavy music or screaming. Yeah. So absolutely fantastic. I'm happy to have you guys on. Before we get going here, just in case people aren't familiar with the band, aren't familiar with both of you, we'll start with Aidan and then Wes. Why don't you guys tell people what you do in the band?
All right, so I am the vocalist. That's what I do, but I help write a lot. I help with the production side of things, composition. I kind of act like a secondary manager, Loki.
Yeah.
But I just try and keep the peace as much as I can. So,
hell yeah. And Wes?
Yeah, so I do the drums. Yeah, I do the drum stuff.
You just the boom
help write out and stuff. Funny enough, I was the last member to join, so
no, second to last.
Oh,
we got a bassist now.
Okay, so you guys, so that makes it 5 then, right? Because you have two guitarists. So, okay, very cool. I was wondering about that because I saw on Bandcamp, it kind of describes what you all do, and I was like, there's not a bassist in there, but at a certain point when the guitar gets so low, do you need one? I don't know, but I'm not a professional. I don't know.
Yeah, it was a very recent thing. So
again. Super glad to have you guys on. I figured what we would do today is kind of go into what got both of you, individually into music in general. Then we got you guys into writing music, how the band formed, and then maybe do a little bit of a deep dive on Hollow Heart. See what you guys have going on for the future, and then I've got a few little things that I tend to do in here to just kind of have people get to know you a little bit better and kind of broadcast what your music tastes are and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. And actually, the first question I usually ask people now that I'm trying to do to start is, well, again, I guess I'll just go with each question so we're not talking over each other. I'll go Aidan first and then Wes for each one of these just to make it easy for us. Is tell me what you're currently listening to. Doesn't have to be something necessarily new, like it could be like a record you have on a repeat. It could be a couple of bands you found. It could be whatever. So just kind of tell me what you're listening to now.
So I am very much, you know, and I am the ADHD guy who has the same things on repeat all the time, and it's hard for me to break out and listen to new stuff. But I've been pretty good about it. And New Fox Cult was really cool. Definitely fucked with that a lot. I've been listening to Hitbox recently.
Hitbox, yeah, good Hitbox, yeah, love them.
Yeah, they're gonna be fucking really good soon, dude. Like they're really good right now, but you know, wink.
People are yeah.
People
are gonna notice how good they are very soon, right? Yeah,
they're really just
those are the boys.
Crazy, man.
Yeah.
So I've been listening to Hitbox a lot. I've been listening to some Foxhole. Weirdly enough, I have been listening to a lot of like Kublai Khan and Noctilus, like normal host stuff, but I was like, man, I really want to listen to Tool a lot more recently.
Hell yes. There we go. Yeah.
Like the shit that really kind of started like getting my mind wrapped around prog. It was kind of like an entry gate. So listening to Tool a lot, you know.
Yeah.
Hey, Max.
Well, I mean, Tool's one that I know, like, I'm a huge Tool fan.
Yeah.
So, one of the reasons probably why I still like pick up a guitar is because of Tool, right?
Right.
But yeah, they're like what was it? Somebody on a podcast not that long ago that I was listening to was like they're the most accessible prog band, right? Like in the sense of like they do the weird time signatures, they do the goofy ass shit that is totally not like mainstream hard rock or metal, and yet it's like you know, they could tour with like radio rock bands. You know, it's very, very unique, you know.
Right.
But what about you, Wes? What have you been listening to?
All right, so it's gonna be a little out there, but I guess for a non-metal one, listen to some Jacob Collier. Just released a new record. It's very fascinating. It's very interesting. Sometimes I love, like, on the metal side, I would definitely say I'm listening to a lot of
Who's that fucking band you should?
definitely Boundaries. Boundaries is I've been listening to a lot of Boundaries, and then I think Thornhill, they just released a new single, and I've been all over. I've just been going back to their old stuff, Darkpool, and I'm like, man, I haven't listened to this stuff in a while. This is some good stuff. So I've been definitely digging back some old throwbacks, some you know.
You cannot go wrong with Thornhill. Thornhill is like, you know, we were just talking about Tool. Thornhill is like if Deftones like got signed by Fearless Records, you know, like it's so good. And they were a band too that like I only got into because I saw them touring with a bunch of other bands I liked. I knew they're from Australia, which means they're probably pretty good, you know. And
I don't know what they're feeding the Australians, but they're pumping out some good bands.
It's dealing with those massive spiders, you know. It just like pulls a side out of you that can make just really good metal music. I guess
the most masculine aspects out of you.
Yeah. Just makes you want to punch shit and, you know, or, you know, get I don't know what I was going to say, bit by a poisonous spider. I don't know. Whatever. Moving on. No, but those are all great picks. And the new Thornhill song was great. And their last record, I forget what the name of it is.
Heroin,
yeah. And that was the one that I heard it and I was just like, what the hell? This is just like, you know, a lot of people try to pull off that sort of like, and I keep referencing it, like they don't sound like Deftones the way you guys don't sound like.
It's just
it's like shoegazy heavy music that like is also just like some horny white dudes talking into some mics, but it's great, you know.
Everyone keeps posting horny for Thorny. All the time.
And you know what? They're making waves, and it's nice that like I think I saw they finally did a U.S. tour without like having all their luggage stolen or all their you know.
They have some bad luck with that.
So it's good to see they're on the up and up, you know. All right, well, thanks for going over that. I always like to do that in case there's some things people haven't checked out, or just I'm always curious what people are listening to. So thanks for going over that.
Check out Blood Hardcore. That's BLUHD.
Yeah.
Okay,
they're from Alabama.
They're a
hardcore band.
Oh, they're doing a set with Kawanashi.
Yep, and
no shit.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah,
there's something about like I mean you guys are from Tennessee, which I view as like a moderately southern, but you know when you go Kubla Khan with Texas or you go like some Alabama hardcore, you're just gonna get some like
you got Whitechapel from
yep
here.
Whitechapel from Tennessee, yeah.
Sleep Theory is from here. They're blowing up recently. You have 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Here. You have
love 10 years. yeah. But yeah, I don't know. There's something about like southern hardcore and southern metal that just has like a different groove to it, So I'll definitely check that out. That's sick. All right, so thanks for going over that. Next thing we'll do is just kind of, again, like I said, both first to Aidan and then to Wes, just kind of tell me when you first got really into music in general. Was it something with family members? Did you grow up in like a musical household? Did you start doing band and meet somebody that was like into emo music? Like what kind of got you first getting into music, whether it was just music in general or alternative music?
So with my mom, like she was much more of like it could so the big four bands like that I grew up with were Hailstorm, Breaking Benjamin, Shine Down, and 3 Days Grace. Gontier era.
Like the Adam Gontier, or whatever his name is. Yeah.
And like those were the bands where I was like, okay, this is sick as hell, and you had Evanescence and like I mentioned, Tool, and like all these different bands, and that was just my shit. And but then I started kind of branching out, and it was Therefore Tomorrow, which shout out to niche Cartoon Network live action movie Ben 10 Alien Swarm for having
throwback.
Was it just a little faster by Therefore Tomorrow changed my life, just like another niche movie, 9, the one with the ragdolls, has the Coheed. It has Welcome Home. That's how I found out about Coheed. Coheed made me pick up a guitar, like made me want to learn. Started out on bass, but even before that, I am classically trained on euphonium and trombone and have not picked up either seriously in about 2 years.
So what you're saying is there's going to be some trombone in the next Bloodveil release, right?
Maybe.
Maybe if you guys want to, never listen to music again. But,
yeah. That's a whole marching band.
Jesus, no.
That's a lot. It's a lot of paperwork.
A thing we have in common is that we both did WGI percussion. Did you march world class?
Which for people that don't know what that is, it's Wonderguard International, and the best way I can explain it is people wearing marching drums and dancing and
fucking
doing
awesome show.
Yeah, like it's like combining like theatrics and drumming and really like kind of molding the two, dancing and like a lot of movement in the world together.
When you guys were doing that, what did you both play in that?
So I did Audio Theory, which is a world class organization. They're a younger one. I did cymbals because I was actually my instructor, who was I believe director of the group, said, "Oh, this will condition you for drum corps, which is basically that, but for the summer and with bugles, with brass." I was contracted to do euphonium for Music City drum corps for my legs. So I did cymbals because it's basically a catch-all section, which is really sad to say, but it's like the blunt truth. But I mean, I learned a lot. So
hell yeah.
Yeah.
And then I played quads or tenors. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was really fun. It taught me.
Those are a blast. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I just, bro, I loved it. They were heavy, so it was.
Yeah. You definitely like built up your back muscles, right?
I was gonna say my back is gonna thank me later for that. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that was definitely a big experience in both of our lives, doing the drumline stuff and just going through that, because there's a lot of discipline and a lot of things that like musically a lot of people don't really think about or talk about. So that was really interesting. So
it teaches you to be to be an adult in the adult world. It
Yeah.
makes you be responsible for yourself, but also not be afraid to ask for help. You have people to lean on accordingly, but it's still like your responsibility to be there on time. And
reliability.
Yeah, and know your stuff, or like just know your shit, man. Come to these things on time. Know your shit. Perform, and don't be fucking dead weight, basically.
Yeah, well, it teaches you, I don't know exactly when you guys did that age-wise, but it teaches you kind of to do music on a, for lack of a better term, a professional level where, there's some great musicians out there that can shred on guitar or play insane stuff on the drums, but if you don't have any discipline, are you gonna do much? You know what I mean? You can just dick around all you want. You know what I mean?
I think reliability and like being on time and just overall being a good person gets you a lot more farther into the industry than people think. And I feel like a lot of people don't talk about that either. Like, well, and I hate to say that, but it's true. Like people,
those things will correlate when coming down to like kind of what we talk about with industry stuff, and especially like with like now being in studio sessions stuff. It's like being a good person has like many different connotations.
Yeah.
But like at least from an industry standpoint and just studios in general, being reliable, being disciplined, having your shit together is being a good person.
Yeah. Not wasting anybody's time, and 100%. So yeah, it's fair to say you guys both have pretty, like you said, pretty deep roots in music and discipline in music and all that. That's awesome. That's really cool. Going from that to, doing these sort of things like in sort of a drum line or more of like, elements of like that sort of, what am I looking for? Like academic realm,
like
I guess, of
way.
Of music. Again, we'll start with Aidan, then to Wes. What got you into going from that to doing, like heavy music, slam music, alternative music? What got you to start wanting to write your own music?
Yeah.
I mean, I was always trying to write and always trying to like from the time I was just even beginning guitar, like I was making riffs, I was writing, I was trying to do something, I was trying to like get to this where we are now. I mean, I said this on Kirk's show. I was like, if you really care, and I was 16, the drummer of Divisive helped me produce my song that I recorded all by myself. It's called Faithless, under the moniker A Pain Undying.
That's a lot.
That's a very like not a bad that's not the worst like early artist title, but that's a very like 16-year-old. I'm getting into
I've been on Dark Souls for like 48 hours.
For me, it was literally just this song I had written when I was 14. I finally had like the means to do it. I was like, out of all the songs that I wrote so far, this one I have to hang on to.
It's like you're only 16, bro. You got too much to worry about.
We all think at that age though we are making like the greatest music of all time. Like you know what I mean? You really do.
You think like you're writing straight bangers, but like
you get humbled real fast.
Well, the thing is, even now, dude, you want to talk about humbling? The other day I was talking to them. Yeah, like I was reading Album of the Year. It's the site. And there was like 2 reviews. Oh my god, dude.
Well, that's where I think I said to you when you posted that on Twitter. I was like, "That's why you don't fucking read reviews. Like, what are you doing?" And I've written reviews for websites before, and it's like, don't read them. Just don't look at them. That's not for you. That's for other people. Don't even look at that shit.
For you, I guess what your transition was, honestly.
Yeah, mine. It's weird because like I grew up listening to a lot of different type of music, and rock music was one of them. It was a lot of Pink Floyd. My mom showed me Pink Floyd when I was younger, and I was like, oh, this is like the best music ever. And then it kind of transitioned to more like Breaking Benjamin and 3 Days Grace and stuff like that. And I was like, this is the heaviest I've ever heard in my life. And I'm like, hold on a minute. And then, but yeah, I know I've always like, progressively I got older, I listened to a lot more heavier music. And then I was like, as I was drumming, because I've been drumming since I was about 3, and like trying
Oh,
to
wow.
learn different styles when I got older, especially like in my teens, I was like, I feel like I should play everything. So when I heard heavier music, I was like, let me learn this. And then at first I was like, I don't think I'm ever gonna see myself playing it. And then I started listening to it more and more. And then when I got to college, I was like, yeah, I want to do this for like the rest of my life. So it was definitely a weird transition. I think with the drumline stuff for me, incorporating a lot of the way I played on drums in drumline, like compared to drum set was crazy. There was a lot of like interlocking things to it, but there was a lot of different things to it as well. And I think it definitely like developed the way I played a lot differently. So I don't know if that translates to the record.
No,
but
it but and it's your credit with that, saying like, I don't know if I'll play this or whatever. It's like, I don't know, some of the drum parts, and we'll get into the songwriting and the production and all that later, but some of the drum parts you have are no joke. You know what I mean? Like, they're very, very intricate and also like not overplaying, which is a tough
100%.
tough lane to fit into in heavy music, because there's usually in the sort of music you guys are doing, the sort of progressive metalcore stuff, it's like you're either like, people don't notice the drums because it's just like a craziness going on all around, or people are like overplaying and all you notice is the drums, and it's not necessarily always fitting to the music. But you found that lane that and I'm sure part of that is, again, going back to it, like having a lot of discipline and knowledge in music, right? Because like if you're just naturally talented, and there's plenty of people that totally don't fit this either. Like there's people that have no idea what music notation is or anything, and then they're just phenomenal. Like I think the drummer from Tesseract does it all from ear and doesn't know notes and doesn't know anything.
He charts a lot of his stuff out, and a lot of people don't do that. They're just like hit play and see what happens, and then they throw up all of the drum set. But which, I mean, you don't need charts and everything nowadays, but it is interesting. Shout out to I love those
there's actually there's this method, I forget the name of it, that I was like, I wish that I was taught on that way before I started to, because it was at the end of my studies. And essentially what it is that the first 2 books of the music in this learning process is purely ear training. It's intervals, it's like pitch. It's really making you focus and learn your instrument. Because the thing about like music, right, is in middle school is the typical American start with band and all that, and they say, okay, look at this note on this page, that's an F. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. You're gonna blow into the horn, and that might be an F.
Yeah, might is carrying a lot of weight there. Yeah.
Why are you learning to read the music before you know how to speak? You need to know how things sound. You need to know
100%
before reading to comprehend it and be able to perform it. Yeah. So I think that method is honestly really like, it just has a lot of advantages, and so I really admire players who just like have insane ears, no like formal training, just instinct. It's like people can say, oh, we're musically inclined. No, we worked our ass off to get here.
Yeah.
Those people are the ones who are musically inclined, because not only do they have a natural ear, it is that they have worked so hard to
they've trained it
and change the world of music in serious ways.
Yeah, it's discipline, but in, like you said, in like a different way than what like the conventional format is that a lot of us, including myself, for what the thing you just talked about for how you initially like learned music. That's how it was for me, and I had to take a lot of effort to kind of get out of like pigeonholing yourself. So yeah, I mean, makes a lot of sense. So going from all of that, it seems like did you guys know each other like for a long period of time before starting this band?
That is the funniest question. Sorry, we love that question because the way we met is the craziest story.
Well, I'm here for it. Let's go. I'm good for. I like a good story. Let's go.
Yeah, this is probably one of the craziest ones in the band. So
yeah, so I didn't know of him or Max's existence when this band formed.
Who is the other guitar player?
Yeah, it's Matt. Yeah, so Matt and I knew each other because Matt heard Faithless. the song. It was like, dude,
the 16-year-old Dark Souls demo.
I like your streams. You want to hop on this thing? And I thought it was fucking amazing. And I went to that song, went nowhere, and will never be released. Dawn, which is sad because it's one of Wes's favorites. But I hit him up in the middle of like a night in December at like 2 a.m. It was like a shot in the dark. I was like, yo, Matt, just briefly, like, yo, we fuck, bro. Like, we are the shit when we write together. So, like, you want to do a thing? Like, we want to actually try and be successful. And, like, to my surprise, well, as of that moment, it was like 5 minutes. It was like, yeah, I'd be so down with that. I think that's so true. And then it was like the semester started, and I was like, yo, like, we should write.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, well, my friend Max wants to write too, so you should come down.
I love these impersonation voices. They're fantastic.
Matt, come here. Matt, come here. Speak. Come speak real quick.
One of our other members are in the other
Just
room.
speak words. Yeah. Was my voice not spot on? Thank you.
But to fast forward, how specifically me and Aidan met. It's gonna sound like stupid, but I met him on the sidewalk on the campus that we were going to, and I was like, I was wearing an Invent Anime shirt. I don't know if you know Invent Anime, but
oh yeah,
love them, by the way. One of the best shows I've ever been to. But I was wearing an Invent Anime shirt, and he was like, "Yo, nice shirt." I was like, and I forgot. I think he had like a Bad Omen shirt on or whatever. I was like, "Nice shirt too." And then we started talking, and then he had the jacket of the WGI, where he marched too, and I was like, "Oh, I marched too." And we were just kind of bonded over that. And then he was like, "Oh man, I'm in a band. You want to hear a demo?" And I won't lie, when people are like, "I want to hear a demo," I get a little cringe.
Yes.
And I was like, "Okay, I don't want to hear your shitty indie band." But you know what I mean? But no disrespect. But I was like, I don't know if I want to hear this. And then he played me one of the demos that ended up being, I think it was Antidote on the record.
Was it Antidote or Forsaken?
It was either Antidote or Forsaken.
I swear it was Forsaken.
Anyway, it was one of the demos from the EP, and I was just like, whoa. And it was like drums, like it was like programmed drums I haven't written yet or whatever. It was just there, and I was like, whoa, like, this is good. And then like we kept in touch, and then one night,
24 hours later, you were.
Yeah, it was 24 hours later. He was like, "You want to be our drummer?" And at this time, I was like, "I'm really busy. I got all the things going on, but it wouldn't hurt." And I haven't left, and I don't regret it, because I love these guys, and I'm very proud of what we put out so far, and I can't wait for future there. But yeah, that's kind of how we met. Was on the sidewalk. So
yeah,
and then
a
year later.
The thing is, I never heard him drum before, so
He didn't know. I could have sucked.
I was just like, dude, we're so desperate for a drummer. You know what you're doing? He's like, yeah, I just took him at face value. I was like, cool, come to meet the guys.
Yeah.
Especially when you need a drummer, you gotta just be a little hopeful at that point when you find out someone is a drummer. You gotta hope that they're also good, because it's hard to find. It's a hard, you can't lug your huge kit into a dorm room or wherever else. Like, it's not the same as somebody pulling out their guitar and plugging into some little amp or something. It's the one that's hard to find.
Yeah. No, it was It was funny because he said he'd never heard me play, so I told him, I was like, I could have sucked, right? Like I think it was like after we released the EP, I was like, I could have sucked on this, right? Like you could have gotten anyone in the world, and I was like, I mean, it is what it is, but because that
worked out fine, yeah.
Because at that time I was in a weird place where I was like, should I keep drumming? And it was just because during school, I was a music major. And it was like there was a lot of stuff going on there, but yeah, it's crazy how we met. It was on the sidewalk, so
Yeah.
it was weird. So
And no, I mean it's awesome though, and that's such like a college thing to have
yeah,
happen.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like
It's
I
very,
think one of the bands that I joined when I was in school, like literally the same thing. I was like playing guitar outside on a bench and ended up meeting the vocalist of my band that way. So it's not as uncommon as you think, I guess, right?
yeah,
But
the
no,
most
that's
people in the world. It's crazy. Yeah.
yeah, that's awesome.
I became the vocalist of a band when I did suck, so
Oh God, I can't fathom that, but I'll take you at your word. No, but
it was god awful,
going from that, that's a really cool story. So thanks for going over that. But like, you just brought it up. You hearing one of these songs in demo form for the first time. So I think it'd be a good opportunity to talk about your guys' debut EP, Hollow Heart. Again, came out in late January. 5 tracks. Really, really, really solid, well fleshed out EP. I can also tell. I don't know if this is something you guys actually thought about or not, but clearly, like I think of, especially with the song First, and then how do you pronounce the ender?
Oasis, yeah.
Oasis, because that's my favorite one, and I was like, I don't know how to say this out loud. But they sound like a decidedly like start track and ender. So the EP is which I love when people actually flesh out track listing. That's great. But kind of walk me through here. I guess we'll start on the music and songwriting and production end, and then Aidan, after that, I would assume you write most of the lyrics, but we'll get into that.
I write all my lyrics.
Okay, so we'll get into like the lyrical inspirations and all that stuff too. But what's like the songwriting process for your guys' band like? Is it one of the guitar players comes with a more fleshed out idea? Is it everybody gets in a room and figures things out? Is it all the above? Like what's kind of we could talk specifically for Hollow Heart, I guess. What was the songwriting process like for this record?
So for Hollow Heart, it was very much all right, everybody is good, because again, so he wasn't around until we were in the middle of writing Oasis. So it was very much a Max, Matt, and me. We're gonna go home. We're gonna write some riffs, and we're all gonna come back, and we're gonna do show and tell and see what sticks.
Yeah.
Antidote literally was the first time Max and I sat down. I was like, okay, so this riff, real simple, but I thought it kind of hits, and it's the ba-na-na.
Yeah.
Boom, we had the riff, and then Max just start right. Literally, the breakdown for Antidote, I took Matt's baritone and I dead ass, or no, it wasn't baritone, it was his A string. I dead ass looked in his face. I was like, something like this, and just did some weird syncopated shit, and it wasn't what ended up coming out. I was like, something like that, and just shoved it into his hands, and then he comes with the
yeah.
I was like, yeah, that one.
that one, yeah.
A lot. Sometimes it's a lot of and a lot of
Yeah.
It's a lot of just
yeah.
Matt,
Yeah.
our guitar player, one of our guitar players, he really does compose a lot of the riffs and the synths that are in there. That piano you heard in Oasis towards the beginning of the verse, that was all him, and he usually starts with that and then kind of builds off of it. And I think the way, I just want to shout out Matt because he's just great, but the way he writes is very like, he just wants to tell a story, and I think that he's trying to write in the sense of where he wants people to hear it, connect with it, but also have a shock factor and almost like, whoa, I didn't think you could do that or go there with this part.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the way his brain is, the way that he writes is very interesting. And I think, like I said, a lot of it was just like, yes, no, that sounds great. No, that sounds great. No, I'm not messing with that. So it was a lot of back and forth.
Kind of trial and error, give and take, and kind of like the idea kind of comes out on its own, right?
Yeah, I would more say Matt himself describes his writing as just like creative bursts. It's not really thoroughly thought through. Like,
Yeah.
The
Till after
the one who
later,
writes like
later
the
on.
story idea kind of pathway is more what I bring. I because for instance, one of the demos we've been working on for this record. He was like, dude, this one I really just I want to rewrite everything. Well, it was like, wait,
Impressions.
I have the lyrics. Let me come record. Like, instantly became one of his favorite demos we have. It's literally Matt. Like, we talk about this a lot, and we're trying to work on the dynamic now that we do have a fourth and now a fifth to kind of talk about with the writing process. It's like we did have this kind of chemistry, and then it was a little like interesting getting Wes in the mix, and now he does have a lot more. He wants to do more drumming stuff, and that's great, and we're trying to encourage that and have him harness potential. But the thing is, now instead of being in a dorm room that Matt and Max and I and Wes all come to, Matt and Max now live in two separate rooms.
They do live together now in the studio, so
they
Nice.
just write separate riffs in the room, so they have different things. So I told him, it's been twice now where I've looked at him and said, hey, the reason why so many demos are coming are from one person are being like let's do that is because you guys aren't working together, coinciding. Like, the thing is, inherently we're gonna have a bias towards production, so it's start getting in the room together, right?
They're so it's funny, they're like very separated, like cooking on one thing, cooking on a separate thing. But yeah, no, it's I think adding the more members that was added, it's we're all getting different perspectives, and I think that especially for the new stuff that we're trying to write is I think we're trying to just move in a path what sounds more like us and not just what each other feel like as well, because
you're trying to make an encapsulation of all the influences as opposed to individual ones depending upon the song or depending upon the part, right? That makes a lot of sense, right?
Jesus. Hollow Heart is much more of a collage of what we're capable of. With a coherent like story, I guess, for lack of a better term. That was our intention. We didn't want it to be like, oh, this super mature,
this defined sound,
defined. We're like, this is just seeing what we can do, showing them what we can do, and then establish what we like. And there is a much more coherent and established sound in what we're working in right now, because I've looked at it, I said, hey, this is my vision. What do you guys think? And they add their parts. And basically, just so we're gonna keep those weird like death slam hardcore like moments out of nowhere, but in the end, it's like I said on Kirk's show, like we're doing the sexy Thal thing.
It's cool that you guys can incorporate so much of those different sounds in your music. This is, I guess, where first of all, just on a production aspect. Wes, did you record these drums live, or are they programmed on the record?
So they are programmed. And
what you guys use for the programming? Because it sounds great.
So if you know the band Counterparts, it's the counter kit.
I've used that one. That's a good one. That's a really good one. Yeah.
The counter kit. Yep, that's the one that we were used on there. They sound great. Love it. A lot of, especially what we're doing now, I would like to do live drums. The hope is live drums.
It's hard, man.
Writing as well is hoping I'm playing it on live drums, send it to Matt and be like, hey, here's my idea for what you have recorded. And then he programs them what I played.
Yeah,
live.
So it's still your playing. It's just 100%. A lot better samples than what you can probably get in this moment until you can like go into some like super like soundproofed, like well-treated room. And I know.
It's in the near future,
I think about like, anymore, that's totally like, Spirit Box, like, except for the 3 songs that they put out with like the rotoscope thing, it's all been programmed. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter.
The whole Eternal Blue record, that was all and I didn't even know that, because at first And usually I'm good at picking that stuff up, but I was like, those are live. And then I saw the one of their interviews. And they were like, no, it's programmed. And I just was shocked because
on the Downbeat podcast, he when he first had Courtney on like years back when the Eternal Blue first came out, he pointed out, he was like, there's one spot where it's backwards of what you could possibly do in one track. It was this much, otherwise you would have gotten me. I didn't remember what part it was, but he was like, it was the same deal with him. He was like, I swear to God, it was real, and there was one part that's like physically impossible to play. You know?
Yeah.
But that's great. I mean, it's, again, the production and everything on this, especially for being like a band's first EP, sounds great. I looked at least on Bandcamp. It looks like you guys actually produced this yourselves as well, right? Did somebody else mix it, or was it all in house?
It was all just Matt and
Matt, our guitar player.
I helped produce. I helped produce first. That was a song I wrote almost entirely myself. Matt wrote, or I don't remember. I was gonna ask Max if he wrote guitar.
Yeah,
Stop fucking doing that! Pissing me off. Hey, you wrote the guitar parts? Yeah. Okay, he wrote guitar parts.
Yeah.
But first, it was like, it started with chords. I just, like, it was originally also in D sharp minor because that's what we had everything in except for, Forsaken Oasis. So I was just doing that. I was like, oh, this sucks, and changed it to, I think, F.
Yeah.
And which Oasis, F? Yeah, it's F or F sharp. And so
very progressive metalcore of you to go drop F sharp. There we go. Love it. That's awesome. So again, for anybody listening that has not checked out the EP yet, Hollow Heart, 5 tracks: First, Antidote, Mind, Forsaken, Oasis. Really fantastic record. Thanks for going over a little bit of the songwriting process. Aidan, I've seen you talk about this a little bit on socials, that you wanted to do a little bit more deep diving on the lyrics and all that kind of stuff a little bit. So can you you could pick specific songs, you could do in general, I'll just kind of leave it open to you. But for this record specifically, what were some of the lyrical inspirations? What was kind of the concept, like, messaging wise or lyrically of the songs?
So this, I like to refer to this EP. Now I wrote all of it from January 2023 to end of May 2023, and this was a huge spontaneous growth period. So I like to refer to the EP as like growth in real time. I was 17, 18, and it was I went through this really difficult situation, in which basically ex-partner of mine that I had treated very poorly and had in my head that was the other way around, and my friend that I had also treated very poorly but had the other way around. Basically, I guess, like, got together essentially, and like I had like a huge fit, something that was really immature. I talked to them and treated them like absolute shit even more afterwards. And I didn't have the self-awareness to realize these self-destructive tendencies and this really toxic behavior. So first through mine is really this like pity party. It's like, you're the reason I feel like shit. You're the worst thing ever. Like, first is about like this like conception that I had like lied to myself about, like, oh, you're selfish. You're the one who wants to be put first. You're the one, like, it's you're the one who made me like this, blah blah. No self accountability. And ironically, Antidote, I thought I was being accountable. I thought I had already been like, oh yeah, well, I did do this thing. I thought accountability was just like, oh, basically saying, yes, I did do those things, and then not follow up with anything. So, it's just like all about, oh, we're both sick people, we're toxic, there's no fixing each other. Like, and then
Yeah.
mine was like, you made me feel, worthless. You took everything that it meant to be me. Still no real self-reflection. Um, but then Forsaken, it's like this moment of confusion. It's this realization, like, it starts off like how every single song, like blaming like her for everything, but then there's like this moment, like I was now I can finally see, was it? Fuck, I forget
I
the
don't even
lyric.
know their own
Yes,
lyrics.
That's classic right there for the drummer, by the
it's
way.
hopelessly. I lay awake
It
at
happens. It
night.
happens to the best
Was
of
it?
us.
I lay
I
awake
lay
at night trying to convince myself that I wasn't becoming extinguished.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Yeah. Oh yeah, I found that line right here. Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
Yeah.
and
Thank you.
the very last chorus, or like the like last verse or second chorus, it's I took what was mine, but what is the cost? And then it says, it's what is the cost, and it's
Mhm.
a response, all rot till the day that I'm damned, because it's
Mhm.
that full moment of realization. And so Oasis is kind of the song about like how I have basically assigned all of my suffering, all of this like internal self-loathing, insecurity, all the things that have been holding myself back, I've been projecting onto her, making her like basically my personal, uh, you know, oasis essentially. And the very end, it's like I admit to everything I have put you through, and there is nothing now that I can do about it. So the only thing I can say is that although it's too late, I will work to make sure that no one ever goes through what I have put you through.
So yeah, I mean, thanks for going over that. I before I kind of comment on that stuff, what is I'm an idiot. What does Oasis mean? What is that? I have no idea what that is.
Oasis is an ancient goddess of basically everything bad, misfortune,
Okay.
grief, nightmares, depression, like all the things that bring you hell,
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you going over all that because I think that was a good breakdown in like a relatively short span of time. So go you on that. That was
Thank you.
pretty solid. But I mean, that's all that stuff is very, very, very relatable for people, and it's cool that it's sort of still, even though it's it's like personal reflection, all that. It almost then in some ways comes off as a concept EP,
Yeah,
right? In the sense of like these different stages. Somebody, it's kind of like the equivalent of in some ways if somebody did like a 5-song EP on like the different stages of grief that people can do, like the five.
right.
It's like that kind of idea of like these different stages in your mind of where you can be at in this situation, and all kind of like encapsulating in this final one. So very, very, very cool. It seems like a very personal record for you, and the emotions both through the music from both of you and the rest of the people in the band, and the vocal delivery and the lyrics and all that, like really convey that kind of like. I mean, I was going to use the word hollow. That's in the fucking name of the EP, so that makes sense. That kind of hollow feeling you can have from being in those different stages of something like that, and so
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's a fantastic EP. Like I said, one of my favorite ones I found, newer bands I found over the past year or two, from doing this, and I think especially if this is your guys' first EP, it's only like ways and ways up from here. So going from that, you guys have mentioned a few times you guys are working on new demos. You're working on new music. It sounds like you've said numerous demos, so it doesn't sound like you're just on the
Oh
first
yeah.
track at this point. So
We
what can people expect going forward? Where are you guys at in the songwriting process? And what are you hoping people get from the newer music, in contrast or in comparison to Hollow Heart? I guess Aidan can go first, and then Wes after that.
so I kind of came up with a brief, or not a brief, like I had a small idea, real personal thing. Over the summer, I had my first sticky sock vacation. or Grippy Sock Vacation. I was in some mental duress and had to, say
okay.
it for a little bit.
My brain took way too long to realize
Yeah,
what that
yeah,
meant.
Mine
I
did
suck.
too.
yeah. No, I
I was
tried
like,
to
grippy
Mine
sock?
did
You
too.
mean sock on the door handle? Like, what do you
Grippy
mean? No,
Sock.
I'm just
Yeah, no.
way different. Way different. I gotcha. I
I was
gotcha.
getting that vibe too.
No.
No, I gotcha. I understand now. I got it.
I was fine with a
Cut
lot
that.
of
Whatever. Yeah.
I was fine with a lot of different thoughts about what it means and what really rounds us out as human beings, and like talking a lot to people of different experiences, people with things like DID and different traumas and all this stuff. It really opens your mind, and we were talking about self-awareness earlier. It's like, if you're someone who truly wants to change it and have a better tie down to reality, talk to people who struggle with it, and people who are working hard to find coping mechanisms. You will it gets dark, but like, you see life through such a different lens. And so what this record is really about is, yeah, there will be stuff relating to personal experiences, but I write some songs about things that I've listened to other people experience. And I mean, even one of the songs is one of our members, and how I perceive, like, what I saw and what I was perceiving him to feel throughout his situation. And we plan on that song actually being the last on the record. It'll be the closer, but it's you have things about trying to, like, the struggle to ask for help,
Mhm.
struggles with addiction, and you know how to stop, or find the resources to stop, the discipline, and this self want, for, again, lack of a better term, to get that help, or what it means to be actually angry, betrayed. Like, what are the feelings, emotions that make us human?
Mhm.
What does mortality mean?
Right.
So yeah, in terms of musical characteristics, it's going to be a lot more clean vocals. But for everybody who appreciated the heavy stuff, I promise you, I know I said earlier this year that, oh well, there will be some of that. The more into the writing we get, there will be some really nice surprise moments, some surprise features.
Get some crowd kill music in there. Don't you worry. Yeah.
We're gonna have people. No, it's gonna. There are some
It's gonna
heavy.
be a good dynamic album, and I think
Yeah.
we're hoping that those emotions and stories lyrically that Aidan wants to put in there. Hopefully, we can translate and complement that well with our instruments, and hopefully, people will enjoy that. I know you talked about earlier, like, having that middle ground in drumming and musically in general. I think that's something we definitely want to push as well. So
Yeah.
I mean, I think it can translate to everything when you're doing songwriting, right? Of like, this part sounds cool, but is it fitting what we're going for overall in the song?
Yeah.
And if it's the classic thing. I'm sure you guys have experienced this with writing music together now and having at least one release and several songs kind of in the bag for the next one, where like, someone's trying to pigeonhole a really cool riff or really cool drum fill or a really cool, a really cool melody or whatever else into a song, and you just try so hard before you finally realize, like, this, we could keep it in a bin for like the next one, but like, it's not going to work. And like, that's the kind of stuff you have to figure out to make a good song. Right. So
100%. Yeah.
Max and I. So Max. Okay, I feel really bad even saying it out loud, but like, Max had one demo that we all were like, that one, let's go with that one. And so I started writing lyrics. I was like, these lyrics are really similar to like one other song I already wrote for the
They're
radio.
all molding.
Let's rewrite it again. I don't want to be
yeah.
conceived as a lazy, and this topic isn't really bothering me as much as I'm making it out to. So let's actually talk about something pressing. And it is something really pressing. So I went to Mac. I was like, hey, so let's do something a little bit different. We can keep what you have.
Go back to the drawing board.
No, wait. We didn't even go back yet.
Oh yeah, that's true. We didn't even hit
Then
that
I
step
went
yet.
to writing it again, and I texted Max. I was like, "Hey, so I'm sure you're gonna love this idea, but what if we completely rewrote that entire song?"
Yeah, it was just like the way, like, okay, we gotta cut that.
What were your thoughts on that, bro?
There's a lot of these like.
Come here.
Sorry, we gotta.
Yeah,
we
this
gotta
is-
No, that's fine. that works for me. It's good.
Yeah.
What's up?
He's hijacking.
Oh, we do not.
No, just lean in. You got it.
We're too fat.
So, get in the back like that. Not like that.
I'm gonna do it like that.
Taco Bell not sponsored. Don't we?
Okay.
Please sponsor me. But yes, yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
I mean, unless you wanted to be sponsored.
No,
There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on here. Sorry.
No.
Yeah. So, we can talk about that demo.
Yeah. So, initially, I wrote this demo that was like really high energy. Oh yeah. I wrote this demo that was like really. It was really high energy. It was really like upbeat. It was fast tempo, and then we got to writing, and his lyrics were really sad and somber, and it didn't really fit it. So then we like, instead of going to a breakdown, I went to like a like groovy like ambient part, and then we realized that was a better fit for the song. So we started cutting the high energy heavy parts, and then that kept going. Eventually, it was like, what if you just cut all of it?
Just make it brand new, right? Just make an entirely different song, and
I think
you know?
that's not the first time that this is gonna happen. It's going to happen so many times. And
not
I know
not the first time,
and
not
I
the
know
last time.
other bands probably relate to this, and I know for a fact all of them have probably gone through this. But sometimes things don't work, or they'll evolve, and you'll have a demo for so long, and they'll evolve to the point where it's like, okay, this was cool 2 months ago, and then we get scratched.
But that's where collaboration and objectivity in music is, and being willing to throw things away is, I think, arguably one of the toughest things for a lot of people to learn, especially when, like you said, like you've got a song that not just you but several other people in the band initially all liked it, and then you got to be willing as it goes on to be like, all right, maybe it's gonna just be completely fucking different, and that's okay, and it'll be just fine, right?
100%.
So no, that's the mark, I think, of like a good, yeah. Hi, Aidan. That's like the mark of like being consistent and being good songwriters, as opposed to like, again, trying to just wedge something in there that just is not going to work otherwise, right? Well, thanks for going over that. Other than new music, is there anything else coming up next for the band? You guys doing shows? You guys trying to promote yourselves in any way? What's next for Bloodveil?
Yeah, hopefully some more shows coming up soon. I think I'm good to announce this, but some playthroughs from the EP will be coming out very soon.
Awesome.
Drum playthroughs,
we're working on it.
vocal performance, one takes, and guitar playthroughs, stuff like that. Just kind of want to showcase that as well. So hopefully getting some content out, and hopefully play some shows soon. And be looking out this year for some single releases, and just if you're in the area, Tennessee, Nashville area, come to some shows. We'll have those in some updating future times. So we're very excited about that. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited to see where this band goes, where it grows, because I think you guys have what it takes to kind of get going to the next level on things. So that's absolutely fantastic. Thanks for going over all that, guys. Last thing I'll ask, and I guess I'll ask all three of you, since there's three of you in here now. I stopped asking bands this a while back sometimes, because sometimes people like really, I could tell they didn't like it, but I'll ask you guys anyway. I don't care. It's kind of a hypothetical to end the show, and then I'll just have you guys plug where people can find the band and all that good stuff. And I'll go down the line here from Aidan, and then just go down to and you'll have to shout from back there, by the way. But I'm just kidding. But it's a hypothetical of either you're in this band or band kicks you out. You got to make a new one. You can fill your lineup of the band with any members living or dead of any bands, any musicians that you listen to.
Yeah.
Who would you put in your dream band lineup?
That's a great question.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, this is gonna take so on drums though. I'm getting 2. Like there's no like drum
Slipknot. There we go. Yeah.
Like
Better
two
be-
is just so fucking like tight.
Oh, you mean 2 from Sleep Token? I thought you meant 2 drummers. Okay, you meant 2 from
That's what
Sleep
I
Token.
thought,
I
too.
got.
Okay.
I gotcha.
Vessel 2. Like
Vessel the drummer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just how to piss people off. There you go.
Yeah.
You know about Vessel? Oh, the drummer. No, but no.
Go fuck
two,
some people
two
up
on
with that one in the
drums.
comments.
I'm gonna for guitar, man. Okay, I want like a weird fucking mashup. I want like Tosin Abasi doing some weird shit, and then I want like fucking
You got
I
it.
forgot his Mitch from like Silent Planet. We're just gonna
Mitch
have
Stark? Yeah.
That's good. That's
We're
good.
gonna
That's good.
have
That's
like
good.
fucking.
That's a good
3,
lineup right there.
2 over here, like thumping progression from Tosin, and then like just genty shit over
Yeah.
here. And then for a bassist, man, you know what would be really funny if I just got what's his
Laptop.
name? Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Flea?
Flea. Yeah,
You know?
Yo.
Not that I like fuck with Red Hot Chili Peppers, but like just for the pure.
He's a great bass player, though. I mean, I'm not a big fan either, but he's a great bass player. Yeah.
Flea could play some gent. He could do that.
Yeah.
I can see that. I can
Yeah.
see-
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
no, he could play. Yeah,
Bro,
100%.
Flea
No,
would kill
I'd
it.
actually put Mike Stringer on bass to be real. Just,
That'd be
Did you say
wild.
Mike Stringer? Is that what you said?
Have you seen him play bass, bro?
He's
Oh, he can definitely play bass. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
100%.
I mean, he basically does on his guitar half the time. So, I mean,
Yeah.
you know, yeah, you got like the 3 best guitarists in like modern metalcore in that band. So
Yeah.
that works out fantastic.
Cracked string players. There.
I just
Yeah.
want to know what that would sound like.
Oh, it would be fantastic. I mean, that would work
be
super
awesome.
well actually. That's a great pick. Wes, you go next.
Okay, so I'll start. I'll start with I guess vocals. Man, I want to.
Can't be people in your
on the
band.
Silent Planet train, but I would love Garrett. Or honestly, I might. You know what? I'm gonna go with Brian from the home team.
Great vocalist. Yeah, the things he did for those issue shows were
Bro.
incredible.
I was blown away.
I didn't know he could scream like that.
Yeah. Yeah, he's so good. So
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, for bass, probably, and I'm so sorry I forgot his name, but it's the bass player for Wolfpack. If you know who Wolfpack is, Wolfpack's like a jazz fusion band. I would love to see him on there. He is incredible.
That is Joe Dart. It says
Joe,
at least on
yes,
Wikipedia. So,
Thank you for
Yeah.
saying.
yeah.
Thank you for saying. Yeah, definitely him from Wolfpack. Let's see, guitar. I would probably say this is gonna be a crazy one. Buster,
Oh,
my boy
Buster.
Buster
You-
Odoholm. I would. Oh man, that would go so hard.
You could just pick him for everything. You pick him to mix
I
things,
know,
pick him
I
to
know,
master
I know.
things,
Dude,
pick him to play all the instruments. It's fine, you know.
Bro, he could stand in the middle of a room and press play on his demos, and I would start moshing. Like he doesn't even have to play. He doesn't even have to play. He'll just have a laptop in himself. He could do it all. You know what I mean?
So good, so good.
And I'm wait. I gotta pick a drummer too, right? Or is that?
No, you're the drummer.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's good.
this is a fantasy
That's
for
true.
band.
We,
like-
I mean, this is where we could go for the 2 drummers thing. And
Oh yeah.
I think for vocals, I would have to go maybe like a Rio.
oh,
Dude,
that's
no,
good.
He said,
That's good.
okay,
That's good.
so go to pick. Hear me out. You know what would be a sick, like, clean vocalist beside Rio for no reason at all? Amy Lee from Evanescence.
Evanescence.
Yeah, both of them.
Well, you could have 2. Yeah, there you go. It's your
That's fair.
dream lineup, man. You know,
I
you
think,
can
like,
go balls to the wall with it.
I'll just get every vocalist.
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
I'll have all of them.
Just have an acapella group of just like all the best vocalists in the world. There you go, including like people doing gutturals, right? It'll
Oh
work.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, have like a doom choir.
Yeah.
They'll all scream at the same time.
Yes.
Guitarist. I was gonna say Buster.
Oh, so that's
Maybe even Callie from he's the other guitarist in Humanity's Last Breath.
Oh yeah. Yep. You could just
Should be
take
on the
anybody
song.
from that band and it would
He's
work
in
great.
I know.
dude.
Yeah.
they're good.
And then give me bassist. I was gonna say Fleet.
That's just like the funniest fucking.
All of our influences just
kind of pouring out. Yeah.
We just been
yeah.
around.
You brought up the singer from the home team, and I said Issues. I can't believe nobody said Sky for bass. You know, that's
Oh man, yeah.
you know, he's like the best. You know,
He was with 21 Pilots.
you can see who I would pick in a second right there, I guess. But yeah,
I love that.
no, that's a great pick. I mean, those are honestly like fantastic picks. Well, thanks for indulging me with that. Were you missing anybody on that? I think you got them all, didn't you?
Yeah, the drummer. I was gonna say.
Oh.
They took all my picks. I'm salty.
Well, but I mean, two is like. Did you guys watch that Drumeo video of him?
I couldn't understand what the fuck he was saying, but I'm sure it was like some genius intellect, bro.
Yeah, you have to speed it up a little bit, and then
He
it's
was
easier
talking
to
at 30
understand.
BPM. It was kind of
Yeah,
Like-
yeah, but it's so good, so good.
Yeah.
Well, on that note,
Yeah,
guys,
yeah.
thanks so much for doing this. Again, anyone listening, check out Bloodveil, check out Hollow Heart, you know, and to kind of end things off here, I said one last thing, but two things. Plug where people can find you guys on socials and all that, and then you got to pick a song to play at the end.
Okay, so you can find us at Instagram. It's bloodveil.tennessee. Our Twitter is bloodveil.
That's the end, yeah.
If I say dot Tennessee,
The abbreviated, yeah.
don't
Yeah,
actually
yeah,
type in
yeah.
the full fucking word.
Yeah.
Let's be so for real right now. Twitter, that's just Bloodveil TN, but instead of dots, underscore.
Yeah.
And then, we're on all streaming
Yep.
platforms.
Spotify, Apple Music,
We
all
have a Bandcamp.
platforms. Yep. Go check it out.
Yeah, please buy our music. We're
Yeah.
for college students.
Tabs
and-
coming soon.
Tab,
yeah,
yes. tab-
Awesome, hell yeah,
We may not
awesome.
be having
Possibly
merch,
drum
but-
charts as well.
Yeah.
In the works, not sure yet.
We're cooking.
So,
We
yeah.
got stuff
So
coming.
we
Hell
got
yeah.
So be on the lookout for that. Yep.
What song do we want them to play?
I guess we gotta go with Oasis.
I think so.
I guess we gotta
think
go
so,
with
yeah.
Oasis.
I think it's your guys' best track. It's the EP Ender, which is always a good one to show people because it's maybe you know how things are on Spotify and how fickle people's brains are. Sometimes they don't even go
Yeah.
down to the fifth track, unfortunately, right? So we'll give
Yeah.
it some love. I think it's a fantastic track. So we'll
Thank
play
you.
Oasis at the end of this. All those socials and all that stuff will also be in the notes and all the YouTube and Spotify and all that for people to check out as well. And thanks so much for coming on, guys. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Thanks
much.
for having us.
I cry if you're hanging for touch. Nails that cut take a step back, would I see my course correct? I said goodbye far too many times. A trail I've walked so far, led by a map that's scarred in my own life. I hate you all the same, but I can't walk away. Everything that I do find is misfortune has led me astray. I know the misfortune I've lived was never your cause to carry, but I'm afraid we're too late. The chapter is closing, the time is eroding. I watch the seconds pass by, waiting for my luck.